Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's December 18th, and we're going to do a little garden update and kind of show you what's going on. We uncovered our crops here that we got row protection on. Some of them didn't really need it, but they do far better with it than without it. And we'll go down, and you can see these strawberries. We've had quite a few frosts, but you can see these are going strong. They haven't even began to die back on their leaves, because strawberries will take 22 degrees as long as they don't get frost. So and we did get down to 22 one time, and here recently this week we got down to 25. We're going to be up above freezing for a couple of days, and we're expecting good chance of rain tomorrow. We've been harvesting some of our broccoli. We've got some more heads coming on. Our new batch of greens are really doing good. I would say they're doing good. If they had a lot more heat, they'd really be jumping up there, but as you can see, they're all hanging in there good. No sign of dead leaves and stuff. Now we do have a little bit more pressure from wintertime weeds that come in here, and we're not going to throw these down in here. We take and we put them to the compost pit or compost bins. And anyway, while we got them uncovered, we'll come in there and do that. But we have radishes. Just say we're past the middle of December, but we have radishes coming on, and with the weather we should make a good crop from these. We do have a little bit to work around with these hoops in the way, but as far as that goes, if that's all I got to put up with. In the greenhouse, you could tell it doesn't know that we're having cold weather. Our romaines over here, they look fabulous. We're going to try to get this leek out here today. I'm cleaning up some rows. Our lettuces are really doing good. Our radicchia is really doing good. Got a little pest problem, and I spotted it on this one, and that's one reason we're uncovering, is to go ahead and use some spinosad. Come in and treat these. And we've harvested quite a bit of cilantro that we dehydrated. We've got more coming on. We've still got plenty of cold weather. It's doing fine. Our carrots are doing good. We've been eating a few of these. We uncovered the beets today, and as you can see, they're looking mighty fine. Now it seems to me that the golden beets don't seem to develop their beetroot until they get a little bit farther along. But I have noticed some of the Detroit darks that are down in here, and some of them, this root isn't really all that big, but there are some that's probably 3 times that. Now our fennel, it's still doing real good. Being that it's been covered, the humidity's a little bit higher underneath these covers, and it seems like it doesn't grow as much upright. Now our Bright Lights chard is looking pretty. This ought to be a good crop. We've been clearing rows too. This was where the tomatoes were. There are a few weeds in this bed. We haven't actually went down and weeded this. We've just cut the tomatoes out. One thing I want to stress is inspect your roots of a few plants. Make sure you don't have a problem. For me, because I have root knot nematodes, I've been really particular about seeing if they're spreading to other places in the garden. because tomatoes are real susceptible to them, and it's nothing down here, so I think that's great. We've just piled our baskets up against the fence. All our blueberries that we set out, they all seem to be doing good. We had a few that looked like they were trying to die, but they actually look about like the others now, so we don't think there's a problem there. We've got our 2 apple trees set out in here. Our red onions, they could be doing a lot better if we had these under cover. Not that the cold hurts them, but I've actually taken the temperature under the row covers, and it increases the temperature in the daytime at least 10 degrees. I figured I'd try to get out here one day when it's sun's out, you know, and it's 60 degrees, and see exactly what the temperature is compared to outside. Our cauliflower is doing good, but we do have a lot of these winter weeds. We're going to have to come in here and go ahead and clean them out, and we'll take a lot of these yellow and leaves off the cauliflower. Same over here. They're really doing good. And our cabbage, compared to the ones beside them, these do look a lot more healthier, and they appear to be forming better heads than these others. So that's one thing that speaks for having these row covers on here. We've also taken out our roll of speckled butter beans in our poles. We'll need to get them out of here and clean up this area. But we've been using our new piece of equipment in the garden. And you don't really think about your lawnmower as a garden tool, but I had watched a YouTube video, and the gentleman that was doing this was mulching or cutting up his leaves and old crops and stuff, and he was running them through as a bag and mower. He'd just mow over them. Now I have this whole row, which was considerable amount of stuff. This would have probably, if I'd put it in the compost pile, it would have probably filled up about half of the height of it, and it would have taken it a long time to where it got the air pockets out to where actually the bacteria would work good in it. But I've actually cut this up and condensed it to, I have the one big wheelbarrow, and I have a little bit in my other wheelbarrow, so you can see how much difference it makes. And plus, this will speed up the composting considerably, because the pieces are smaller, so they're able to be worked on and taken and broken down quicker. So if you have a bagging mower already, that's a great option for your garden. Now this one here, I picked it up used. It's self-propelled, which really doesn't matter to me, but for $100 it pulls and starts on at least the second pull. You know, doesn't smoke. So I figure for a cheap piece of equipment, used piece of equipment, that's excellent. And this time of year is when you find a lot of lawnmowers on sale, because people aren't needing them, and a lot of people get rid of their old mowers at this time of year, so you might think about it. This row here was it was noticeably infected with root knot nematodes. Now the carrots, I don't find any problem with them, but before we planted the carrots here, we had marigolds, so pretty much the crop that was before didn't cause the problem to excel. Now up here, tomatoes were in this area, In fact, they were all down this way, but like I say, we had moved all the marigolds into this area, which that kind of got rid of the problem. Now, brassicas are not attacked by root knot nematodes. It's some kind of chemical that they produce. So these few brassicas here aren't going to be a problem. But we had beets, we had rainbow chard, and we had some regular Swiss chard. Now the rainbow chard seemed to be more affected by it than the Swiss chard was. So regardless, either way, the Swiss chard did have a little bit of problem with root knot nematodes. The beets that were here were just they were totally infested. So we pull this out. The plan here is to I thought about putting some asparagus in this area, but I don't have plants that's quite ready. But I do have my leek is ready, and I'm possibly, and I'm not sure that I will, but possibly I might take and put strawberries here because they aren't affected by them either. So your alliums, strawberries, those are something you want to break the cycle, and you have to watch your pest. And you could take expensive measures. Now, I had tried simple measure of adding sugar, in which I will probably add sugar in this area too to add to that. Try to make the bacteria increase and this ground more hostile. But I had to move the roots out. Now I'm going to put these infected plants into my compost pile, but first they're going to go in a burn barrel, and we're going to have all that burned up. So we still make use of what's left, but it doesn't contaminate our compost pile, because once the temperatures just get up there as high as it will to burn this up, it'll get rid of them. Now I have inspected over here on my fence where I had my cucumbers to make sure that the roots of them weren't infected, because they're close to this area and there wasn't any problem. But we have the same problem over here with this row. These beets never did good. These have been in here for at least 4 months, and beets are normally about a 60-day crop. So you can see now we did pull some of them, and we might pull a few more. There might be a few more that's eating size, but most of them don't even have a good root. All your brassicas, the broccoli. Now this is the gypsy broccoli, and I wanted to see how well it came back as far as for sprouts, setting up side shoot. Now one does have one coming on, but it doesn't seem to be really prevalent as far as trying to put up good size shoots. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut this down, and we'll put it in the compost, and we'll prepare this row. Kind of the reason why I'm making this video now, which I do have quite a few crops still in the ground, but I have a lot of empty beds. Winter time, if you don't have snow on your beds, there's no reason to procrastinate, and then whenever it comes springtime and you're ready to take them and get this garden ready, especially if you're doing no dig. Even if you're doing a teal type situation, it's always best to go ahead and get these plots ready before you need them, because actually it's not going to be that long before, I'm in zone 8B. It's not going to be that long before I'm actually going to be ready to plant some of my spring crops. Of course, I have a lot of brassicas because they're cold tolerant, but we're talking about next month we're going to be starting maybe some of our, I don't know, we might start some of our tomatoes, just see how early we can do some with row cover. And we're going to start all these brassicas, and we're going to have to put these out. So if we're going to be putting out beets and all these kind of things. We're going to have to do all that planting. We don't want to take and have to use that time to have to prepare a bed and then have to plant a bed. Now normally in this time of year, it would be actually when I would till and break my soil, and I've actually got one part on my place that we are going to till, where we're going to do corn this year. In the future we might change how we do that, but for now that's our plans. And I'll go ahead and break that up and get that ready so that when it comes time for the corn to be planted, everything will be ready. In fact, I might go ahead and seed in some mustard, and that way it'll have a little bit of extra nitrogen in the soil, a little bit of organic matter, and plus if there are nematodes in that area, which I'm not aware of, it hadn't been planted for a garden for quite a while, but if there are a problem, that'll take care of it. Because it's always better to be proactive whenever it comes to dealing with garden pests and all of that. Now, as far as nematodes, and I will be talking on that a lot until I get this under control, so those of you that do have a problem will be able to understand them. I've actually noticed, and I do have nematodes on my beets here, but I have actually pulled up an arugula plant, which these are actually going to seed. But I pulled up the arugula, and I don't have any signs on the arugula, so apparently it's unaffected by that too. Now I do have signs that underneath this covered area, we do have a lot of holes in here, so we do have either cabbage loopers or cutworms or some other type of worm that's affecting this. So what we'll do is, well, we've got this uncovered, and of course it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I keep putting this off because it's supposed to rain. But I'm going to go ahead and treat these. I'll treat the collards. Now these haven't been covered. We do have a situation over here. Looks like something is bothering this one. I'll have to take a look and see if I can find out what has actually killed that plant. But now is the time to grow a lot of these winter vegetables. Like I say, row cover is a big factor in extending your season throughout the winter when you're in the south, because it doesn't take just a couple of days to ruin your crop. And not to say it's not going to get colder down here, but with the temperature difference from the protection of a 1 ounce row cover makes a big difference to keeping your crops flourishing. But I don't recommend just putting it on and leaving it, because you can see certain types of parasites or different types of pests that get on your crop. If you can't see under it, so you need to make an effort to check them occasionally. And I find that the row cover does take and keep part of the sun out. So if there's nice days, it's best to let it go ahead and stay open, and be able to soak up that sun and do better. I hope you found this video useful. If you're not a subscriber, I encourage you to subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I do put out new videos. And if you like it, hit that thumbs up and go ahead and share that. It really helps my channel. Happy gardening.